Hi everybody, Rob Keys here with another edition of What's in the Box. For today's episode, it's going to be movie focused and we're going to talk about 300 Rise of an Empire, or specifically this art book. If you saw my previous video on the art of Titanfall, this is another great coffee table style art book featuring production art and photography for the film. And this is also done by Titan Books, and like the Titanfall book had the creative director and I think studio founder Vince Impella had like a foreword and afterward. This one has an afterword by Zack Snyder, who of course directed the first 300 and produced the sequel, and it's got a foreword by director Noam Moreau. And this one, I'll open it up actually, it's still wrapped up in its plastic shrink wrap. I wanted to talk about this a while ago, actually, when the film came out, since it has been in theaters for a few weeks now, but I've been sick with a cold and flu, and my voice is just starting to come back, and my eyes are starting to get a little less red. I don't know what happened. I traveled for 2 days, and I came back, and I've been sick for like 11 days straight. But here you go. If you haven't seen this movie, but you really enjoyed the first 300, I highly recommend checking this out. For me, this movie wasn't as good as the first one. It doesn't have as many epic moments or speeches, like basically everything King Leonidas says in the first one. Gerard Butler's character, it's like powerful and memorable, and every action sequence is so awesome. This one has some cool action sequences too, and some cool characters, but it's by itself it's not as complete. But as like a second chapter, so to speak, or as a film that kind of blows up the lore of the first film, you should definitely see it, check it out, because it takes place before, during, and after like the main storyline of 300, and definitely fills in the universe. And you get to see a little more backstory on Xerxes and the Persian army and what he's doing in Greece. But the film is primarily about his most important general, Artemisia, played by Eva Green, who commands the Persian naval fleet, and she's like crazy evil, but she has a kind of a smart backstory to explain why she is that way. But anyways, enough talking about the film. I want to open this up. I haven't opened it up yet, but I did get an art book, and I actually bought like the graphic novels for 300 and the follow-up when Frank Miller wrote this, just because I love the first book. I love this type of artwork. And so here we go. First big image, Rodrigo Santoro as Xerxes, the God King, who's trying to take over Greece. How they explain what he is, and how he looks this way, that's probably one of the weaker points of 300 Rise of an Empire. But that film was initially going to be called Xerxes, but I think as they changed the title of the film, they also changed the script, because if you do watch 300 Rise of an Empire, it definitely sets up like a third film, which will, I think, deal with Xerxes' army and like finally trying to take this guy out. But I'm not going to go through every page, but I just want to give you some examples. Here's some of the cool concept art of the Persian fleets coming in to attack Greece. And of course, the whole story about these 300 films is trying to unite Greece, all the different nations within it, to stand up and fight the tyranny of Xerxes. You got one of these cool helmets. The main character in this film is played by, is it Sullivan Stapleton, and he plays Thermocles. God, I can't pronounce these crazy Greece names. Look, here's the bit of the castle bloodied up, battle worn. What was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, the photos in this, like all the behind the scenes photos you're going to see in close-ups of the characters on set, they're done by Clay Anos, and he is the same dude who worked with Zack Snyder doing like the portrait book for Watchmen. So he's definitely tight with Zack Snyder. Oh, it's actually kind of like an encyclopedia, sort of speak. There's like one of the longboats or longships detailing how that works. A lot of the film does take place in the water on these boats, so it's amazing how they shot that without actually using water and the ocean. Just like they shot the first 300 all with green screens and these sound stages. And if you want to be a Spartan, or in this case, an Arcadian, or whoever's in this, you got to go through the rigorous workout, the 300 regiment. That's another funny thing. Everyone is super ripped in the first movie, right? In this movie, they're like also in amazing shape, but not as muscly as the Spartans, because the Spartans are supposed to be like the Herculean type soldiers in the battlefield. And when you get to see them in this film, they definitely demonstrates the difference between a normal man trying to be a warrior and a Spartan warrior. Here are some of the main characters. Right there. There's Sullivan Stapleton. evergreen. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's not like your normal film art book. It's not so much stills from the film, although this one is, as opposed to kind of like highlighting all the different characters. See, look at the muscles, Sullivan Stapleton. That ain't no Spartan six-pack, but still in great shape. This guy is actually currently rumored to be in talks to play a main character in Star Wars Episode 7. There's a better look at some of the characters. So yeah, interesting. I'm going to go through all of this later on, but there you go. If you love these film-style art books and you're a fan of 300, or you want to get a book full of muscly men for that special someone in your life, you can get the official art book for 300 Rise of an Empire. I just want to quickly flip through, see if there's any cool highlights in the back. A lot of shots of Evergreen playing Artemisia, and they talk about her character. Oh, there's features quotes and stuff and interviews from the actors and people as well. Oh, there's a great shot. The water stuff happening. All the kind of nice sepia tones. Alright, so maybe I'll take a look at the afterward by Zack Snyder. And he would have actually directed this film if it wasn't for Man of Steel. And now, of course, he's directing its follow-up. Doesn't have a... Themistocles, that's how you pronounce it. Ugh. So, by Zack Snyder. Themistocles was a politician and a general, but more importantly, he was a master strategist. When faced with a seemingly insurmountable opponent whose sheer size was almost unimaginable, he remained steadfast, relying on skill and wit to challenge the ominous yet vulnerable threat of simple brute force. Defending Greece would seem like a nearly impossible and costly feat to most, an inevitable, horrific, and humiliating defeat poised to happen. A defeat which, if dealt to the Greeks, would cost every man, woman, and child everything, leaving nothing but devastation and loss in its wake. In spite of those frightening odds, Themistocles forged ahead, fearless, brave, and cunning. And there's like 6 or 7 other paragraphs. And he says, special thanks to Clay Enos and Peter Apillo. Clay Enos is the photographer I mentioned. Peter Apillo is the guy who actually put together the art book for Titan Books. And he thanks everyone at Legendary Pictures and Warner Brothers. There's 2 studios that put this film together. There you go. 300. Rise of an Empire. So I love these things. This will go downstairs until I replace it. I've been on a kick collecting art books, lots of video game books I've looked at and even bought from Titan Books over the years. And I wanted to show you guys this too, since we're on the topic of 300. This is a replica prop helmet. Not really a prop. It is a replica. Not as gold or shiny or metallic looking as the actual ones from the film. But this is from the first 300. This was made by NECA, N-E-C-E-A, who makes all those great figures and props. There's a little crack there. But I remember buying this online because I had a couple of friends who were actually like hardcore working out, and we were considering the possibilities of dressing up as like Spartans for that Halloween, because 300 was like the best thing ever of that year. Man, when did that come out? 2007? It's been such a long time. But we had a bunch of friends who like got into like super hardcore working out, knowing we would never ever look like a Spartan in terms of muscles. But I bought this anyways because I like to get those cool film props. I wanted to buy like the sword thing too, but it was more money and I never got around to do it. But I don't know if you can see it there, but you get the NECA logo. Does it say anything else? Warner Brothers Entertainment, 300themovie.com, made in China. But there's also some foam padding along the inside. And a lot of people online who had these were talking about how it doesn't fit their head. And so I bought this thinking, man, maybe it's going to be really tiny and won't just put it on my shelf. But this actually fits on my head. Yeah. So there you go. I wish I had an actual mic so I wouldn't have to take the stupid headset off, put it on, and I can like do my "This is Sparta" quote. But yeah, I mean, if we were to actually use this, it does fit. I'd have to find a way to like mold this so it stays closer down like that, and then it would have to be like painted in like a rough kind of bronzy gold. But there you go. That's some cool 300 stuff. This I got pretty cheap. I think, I don't know. I don't want to guess actually. It could have been anywhere from like $30 to like $70 when I bought it like 5-6 years ago. I think I actually got this one off eBay, not the official store. But anyways, thanks for watching. I have 2 more videos to do, so I'm just going to try to plow through them today. Going to grab a coffee, have a shower, and then I'll make 2 more and just do schedule one a day, because I am so behind on doing not just gameplay videos, but like these live action vlogs and what's in the box videos. So please like and subscribe for more, and when it's up, you'll be able to click the link down below to get to my next episode. Again, I thank you for watching. See you next time. Cheers.